All right, the time is now 7:03 p.m. on this 10th day of March. We will pick up the Mount Morrisville Area School District Board of Directors meeting with a pledge of allegiance. Please join me.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Albert,
Here.
Mr. Badger,
Here.
Mr. Eisenhower is absent, Mr. Gardner,
Here.
Mr. Hausnick,
Here.
Mrs. Kling. Here. Miss McCoy. Here. And Mrs. Meyer. Here. And Mr. Young.
Here. All right, no recognitions or presentations on the evening. Student representative.
Hello, good evening.
Hello.
It's nice to see you all today. Guess what? Have a good start to the month. I just wanted to talk to you all today about some upcoming events at Montoursville that a lot of the students are looking forward to. To start off, this Thursday, a lot of our seniors are participating in the State Senator Gene Yaw seminar, where those students participating are invited to come and debate on various bills and essentially be a senator for a day. A lot of kids are looking forward to it, and it should be an interesting experience and very educational for everybody. On the 20th, 21st, and 22nd, we have our spring musical. A lot of kids have been working very hard on it, and price of admission is $10 for an adult. It's the Adams Family this year, so if that's something you might be interested, more than welcome to come. It should be a very fun time. I'm looking forward to seeing it myself. And two more things, the art show is coming up. That'll be on April 10th. That's where a lot of students come together and share a lot of their passions, and a lot of people involved in these things are looking forward to them. We're gonna have the fine arts, family consumer sciences, excuse me, a lot of agricultural works, woodworking, metalworking, and it's all gonna be coming together. There should be a lot of presentations on it, and it should be a good time for everybody involved. Everyone's looking forward to it, and we're all excited to see how that progresses. Then finally, I have on March 24th, there will be a job fair. There will be many employers coming to the school, and the kids will be learning what they might want to pursue following high school, whether it be college to get a certain job or degree, or working straight after high school. And a lot of the kids are looking forward to it, given that the opportunities and doors that will open up. And you're all looking forward to these things. I'm excited to just explain how they develop later on. So thank you all today. I appreciate it.
Thank you. So we're gonna be updates. All right, that'll take us to the reading of the minutes, approval of the regular meeting minutes, February 10th, 2026, and the work session minutes, February 24th, 2006. Take a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Second. Any questions? All right, hearing none, all in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed. All right, public comment portion of the evening. This is for residents and taxpayers to comment on matters of concern, official action, or deliberation before the board.
Jack Callahan, 115 Arch Street, Georgetown. I'm still concerned about those trophies and all that. And the trophies were there was one in particular. It was the basketball one. It had the net on, and I wonder what happened to that. Then I wonder what happened to the two basketballs that Bob Courtney and Bill Burdett did each have, and plus football that belonged to Ted Strine. And it wasn't Dan's fault. It wasn't, the other, about 3 superintendents ago. It wasn't their fault. It was an accumulation of and that, and I don't know. And what can I say? It's the trophies and memorabilia is put away, and that's probably never get looked at. And
Well, Jack, I want to add next meeting, if you're going to be in attendance, that's March 24th. We've brought everything upstairs. It will be on display in this room for you next meeting. So you can see what's left. If you can't make that one, we'll leave it in here until the following meeting, until you get a chance to see what we have left of all the trophies. It's sitting in the electrical room right now. Filling the electrical room, so it will all be on display in here
yeah, like
for you at the next meeting, so.
like the trophies are a lot better than trophies of today. You can read them and they're a lot better.
You'll be able to see what we have left, what we saved from the old high school.
And I was gonna bring up Boris Karloff. The theater group from Victoriaville went up to interview him up at Williamsport. He was in town to do a silent movie. And they went up, but they didn't get a chance to interview him. But it was Boris Karloff. And all they had was these silent movies before they had the regular movies. And before they had talk shows, they had orchestras playing in the thing and playing. And I don't know. I don't think it'll work fine. It's gonna.
All right, seeing no one else in the room, we'll go to Zoom. Pretty good today. All right, that'll conclude the first public comment portion of the evening, and on to the business managers report.
Okay. You have received copies of the treasurer's reports for the period ending February 28th for the general fund, cafeteria fund, the student activities, and capital projects. We are submitting these to the board for your consideration for approval.
Take a motion to approve.
Motion to approve. Second.
Questions? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Right. Presentation bills.
Okay, you have received copies of the bills for the district for the period ending March 10th. We are presenting these to the board for your consideration for approval.
Take a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any questions? Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Albert,
Yes.
Mr. Badger,
Yes.
Mr. Eisenhower is absent, Mr. Gardner,
Yes.
Mr. Hausnick,
Yes.
Mrs. Kling,
Yes.
Ms. McCoy,
Yes.
Mrs. Meyer,
Yes.
Mr. Young.
Yes.
Okay. Now we're going into the fun stuff. You guys will see that I did the budget books like they were done last year, just trying to keep some things the same. But the presentation is in there. I also included the audit, so you would have that for reference, but I put this presentation that I'm going to do within that book with a little bit of backup to be able to help. Now. Nope. Second. Got it. All right, this presentation right here is just gonna be a focus on the revenue projections. I also did put some expenditure highlights in there. Please be mindful, I am working through all of those expenditures, but I wanted to try and get you guys something for some of the more big ticketed items, so you would be able to see. So right now for our local revenues, I put in for your current real estate tax. These are projections that I get from the Lycoming County Assessment Office. You will see that there is a slight decrease, and that's gonna be pretty much what you're gonna see from like the appeal with the Geisinger property. So we did have a little bit of a decrease there. Real estate interims, they're pretty much running a nice even keel, so I'm gonna keep those budgeted at that 15,000. So your public utility real estate or public utility realty tax, that's a PERTA tax. I started looking into that, and I actually put that out into our forecast 5 model, and it projected pretty high. So I did decide to increase that a little bit to about 800, just to kind of stay conservative, but to give us a better accurate picture of what we're getting there. I did the same thing with our payments in lieu of taxes. Those are for our state forest properties. Pretty much they're just paying a tax because they have property in our district. So I went through and I did the same thing, and I ran a projection out on that one as well, just kind of like a 5-year look. It looks at 5 years back of our data, and then the system will look at it and then project it out for the fiscal year. So I did increase that one by 5,000. So we're gonna budget that at 60. The earned income tax, I'm still kind of waiting to see how it is all going to shake out with the change. We did change, Williamsport no longer collects that. That is now going over to Keystone, and how they've been collecting it, time frame that they've been collecting it has been different, has changed. So I'm going to keep it the same just to kind of test and see how it's all coming. Right now, we're coming in pretty good. Let's see, real estate transfer tax. I put that in there as well, just to kind of get an idea, and that actually projected out at about 550 from past years, and thinking that we're gonna realize a little bit of a gain there. Or wait, am I on the right one? Yep, sorry, I skipped. Let me go up one. My 5-year projection was on that one was about 286 for the real estate transfer. So that's why I'm increasing that a little bit by 10. Again, I just kind of want to be conservative, but yet a little bit more accurate on what we're seeing through that system. The delinquent real estate taxes, we actually have been seeing a better collection on those. So that was the previous 2 years. So I ran that through the model, and it's looking like we're gonna get about a 551 on that. So that's why I increased that by that 50,000 to give us some more income coming in. And then the earnings on investments. I've been watching all the investments. I've been watching what JP Morgan's saying, things like that. I'm nervous, but I'm pretty confident in just adjusting that by about 50,000, bringing it up a little bit. Right now, we are actually today and above what we had budgeted for this year on our interest earnings. So that's why I feel a little bit more confident in budgeting that up to that 50,000 extra. All right, continued with some of that local revenue, our athletic event admissions. We've seen a little bit of a decrease in people coming in and watching, so we did pull that down a bit, as well as the activity participation fee, that also was decreasing a little bit, so we pulled that down. Also, device insurance. There's not much there, just looking at previous years and just going to budget a little lower on that side. IDEA funding, that's federal funding that kind of passes through the district. I actually have been watching that with this current year as well as last year. You could see last year we actually got 396,000, and this current year we're pretty well on pace for that. So that's why I budgeted that up by 12,000. And then there really hasn't been any change with our rentals, tuition payments, and our miscellaneous revenue. So I was going to keep those all Alright. So on the state revenue, I've been watching what PASBO has been saying and we're gonna actually put in the proposed funding that they are suggesting for 26-27. There is some backup in your packets on just what they're proposing for Montoursville. But for our basic instructional, we are gonna be getting that 8.5 million, which is, it's a $70,000 increase, but that's our 26-27 proposed budget. So I have that in there. I made sure all of our wages were accurate within our spreadsheet, so that way I could get a good accurate number for our state share for our FICA. So that did increase by 22, which is, that is our half that we get reimbursed back. Tuition payments, I kept that the same because that's really just ranges in all different ways. So I think it's just a moderate number to keep it up. Our special education, our proposed funding came in, the 26-27 proposed funding came in at that 1.5 million. So that was an increase of that 30,000. Transportation, when I went back and started looking at some of those numbers, that's a reimbursement number from this school year. So hopefully, once I start working through that, I might be able to get a better figure on that, but that's our 25-26. The rental and sinking fund, that is that plan con. So there was those 3 series of bonds that we actually get some payments and reimbursements back from the state. That will not happen with this bond. So the 2026 bond is not qualified. They no longer are doing that plan con. Medical and dental services as is. The state property tax, I am using the 25-26 number because that number will not come out till about summertime. Then our PA block grant, I actually am budgeting that full amount. So the PA block grant came in at 2.1 million and I'm pulling in that whole amount into the proposed budget. So that would be that increase of 674,000. And then of course, other income from the state. That's retirement reimbursements. And for our federal, I'm just using all of our numbers from 25-26 until we get the new numbers on that. But you'll see normally in 25-26, we get a set of figures and then mid-year, they normally either reduce or increase. They reduced last year. So I am proposing the numbers that we actually were reimbursed in the federal funding. But you'll look, there's actually an increase of about 956,000 in the revenue from last year. Now, these are just highlights. Please remember, I am working through all of these expenditures, just trying to allocate myself with everything as well as make sure I have everything in the right place and I'm doing the right calculations. But I wanted to get you the health insurance costs for sure. LCIC came back with a 9.9 increase in those rates. That's a pretty high jump. I've been watching the SHRM and some other places that have been doing some research. They're expecting higher increases. So it's just going to continue to go up. The GLP-1 drugs, the prescription drugs, the catastrophic claims are really driving that health insurance market and costs are going up. So you're going to look at that 453,000 is an increase on top of last year. The wages increased by about 588,000. I have we added in that new position for the curriculum director just to kind of see where our thoughts are, as well as all of our contracted bargaining agreement amounts and increases. So that's in there. I also wanted to put in here our bond series. So our bond series of 2026 payment that starts. So that will be coming out. You're going to see kind of at the bottom though, in revenues, there's a projected millage build. So previous 2 budgets, the 24-25, 25-26, there was budgeted 467,500 to go towards that payment. And then down, I did the Blast IU contract. Right now, I don't have any figures, so I just pretty much put a 10% increase on that until I get an accurate amount. And our cyber school, We redid that PDE 363 and we did have a reduction in the cost of students. So we should see some savings on that side. And then if you go down right now, like I said, I'm still working through everything. But our revenues and our expenditures, it's looking like right now as a deficit of $578,989. But again, I'm working through stuff and there's still a lot to do. All right. Do we have any questions?
I have just two quick ones, 6114 and 6510. How come they were so much higher? For actuals in 24-25? Because of curiosity.
6114.
Yeah, the payment in lieu of taxes on the earnings on investments.
The earnings on investments, with doing the Keys Lab, I want to get more information on that, but I was looking at it today. It's just that the market has been performing pretty well.
Market did well.
Yeah. But it's in a full flex account, so they're constantly moving that in and out, but I will get you more information on that one. The PERDA, I was pulling some numbers, I'm not quite sure why it was budgeted so low, but, there seemed to have been a jump. 2024, but I will get you more information, to get you a better picture of what's going on there, because it was about that for 22, 23, and then about 24, there was a bigger jump, and then 25, that jump stayed. But I can get you some more information.
Okay, thank you.
For the new position on the curriculum director, what number did you put in for that?
I did 100,000.
Thank you.
Yep.
Well, we did some of that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, with the expenditures especially, yeah. I'll have a lot more detail. I just wanted to go
With
over
the highlights,
Yeah.
where the big ones.
The
are
biggest
gonna
one was
happen.
that I wanted to make sure you saw what the revenue was gonna look like,
Yeah.
but yes,
I
those
appreciate it.
are gonna,
Okay.
but I wanted to make sure you had something to see.
Yeah.
Those are essentially the issues and hurdles and problems that we
The
have
big
in the
fees,
in the
yeah.
budget.
Yeah, yeah.
We did not plan on 9.9%. Nearly $500,000 for us, so there was talk of it being higher, and we're supposed to be grateful that it's only that. Sorry, I'm not. So there was a number
I
that
guess
was
that
floating
mine was
around.
higher for this year.
Yeah, they were floating 13.9, there were all kinds of numbers out there, and then they settled on the 9.9. But I expect that's gonna be a continuing problem that we need to address as a district. We can't continue to absorb those kind of hits in the future. They're hard to plan for.
It's almost our entire shortage.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's essentially what the other things we can plan for, the contracts, the wages associated with those contracts, the other things that you see there. With a pretty good handle on our cyber numbers, that's why they're in the ballpark, but when it comes down to that number, it's hard to plan.
So here's another question for you. Because I know we always wait for that one as we're talking insurance, like insurance on the buildings and stuff like that. Do we have all that in yet? Because it's,
I actually just completed the questionnaire, so I will be meeting with them.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that
that's
one always
coming up.
nails us too.
Yes, yep. So that one's
So
coming.
hopefully with
And
this.
once Loyalsock Valley is
Right,
off.
well, no, that's
it
why
won't-
I'm asking.
Yeah, we'll be able to actually go out and see
Right.
better rates,
Yeah.
but until then, it's
No.
almost like right now. it's
We're there, but
the-
it's gonna stranglehold. Well, until, honestly, until we sell the building. we still are gonna have to insure it.
Yeah,
Is it broken down what our obligation is to insure that building?
I believe it is. If anything, I know our insurance rep is wonderful to talk to.
I'd be curious if you could give me that number, what it is just for that building.
Just for,
Yeah.
It's the bulk of it, Dave. I remember from the last 2 years that.
Yeah, I remember it was high, I'd just like to see where.
Well, yeah, and we can't do anything because of
Right, we're
insurance. Yeah.
Yes,
yeah, but I can definitely, I'll get you something.
thank you.
And the big thing to keep in mind, I mean, this is definitely gonna be a gap year, but with Lowestoft Valley actually closing, it will reflect savings in the long run. But I will have definitely a lot more broken out for the next time.
In the past, did we always have just the cyber charter combined as one? Was that always broke down as a,
This is getting more fun.
I can actually read
We
it.
like that.
No, I don't even,
We like that.
Yeah,
it wasn't even called out
It wasn't.
in
We
the
had that.
past. It was,
It's not all blue.
forget what it was,
Yeah.
budget codes.
Right, we didn't like.
I forget what the name of the budget code is, but yes, this is broken down.
like, cause we have a rate for our non-special ed children and we have a rate for our
And
special.
in the past, it was just like,
Yes.
Yeah, no, that.
It was all together.
It was all together. Wasn't just
This
cyber,
is
it was all the
one big
chart. It
number.
was, yeah, it was.
so,
Yeah.
how many students is that?
I think when I budgeted, the non-special ed was at 48 and the special ed was at 21. So I just pretty much took this year and I looked at an average total to now. And I picked a higher number just to make sure we were safe.
And that's the savings that you're seeing there is the big reform that they did.
I can appreciate that, but it's.
Not enough of it.
No, it's not, because there was
I mean,
sarcasm in that.
And the special education is very important, and I'm not knocking that at all, but you're looking at 2.7 million.
It's because they're going to new story, like.
I mean, if you
You're
combine
looking at this special
all of
education
it.
that we can't handle at all, and so it's a lot of news story, right? Am I correct on that, Tim?
Yeah, and those alternative ed, things like that, that's not in there as of
Yeah,
yet.
it's
So
stuff that,
that's just our cyber.
yeah. Oh, wait, this is just cyber.
That is just our cyber.
So
I
that
did not-
isn't-
I did not
use-
pull in the
okay.
alternative
That's
ed.
not all the-
Are we gonna have that all broken down?
Yes, cause I wanna be able to,
So there's,
I mean, you won't have them like each individual, but I'll definitely get you like the alternative schools for
Yes.
this.
Right,
I'm
right,
gonna
right.
get you on that.
I think this has been our Achilles heel for the past 7-8 years.
That in state. I mean, they increased special ed by, what was the number, 30,000? That's
Yeah.
a third of a placement at News Story.
Right.
We get one kid that moves in that has to go to News Story. That only
That's a
pays for a
free-
third of that student going there. So it's, yeah, they've added funds, but not
Not near.
in how, you know, our special ed costs go up. The state is not going up at the same rate that our costs are. So then it falls back on us, which falls back on the local. I think the numbers that you see coming, we're holding the line. These were just the big, really big ticket items that stand out. I don't know that you're gonna see an increase, big increases or decreases in that number that you see on the estimate. Negative 578.
578.
Round up.
Right, anything else? Good start. Thank you, man.
Very welcome. Okay.
All right, I think we'll move on to the administrative board reports. We'll start today over here with he who shall not be named, because it doesn't have a name tag showing out. Oh, there it is.
New guy.
Hey, new guy, welcome.
President. We're moving along with this. All the lots of setups, lots of cleanups. We're just finishing up all the stuff inside the buildings, that basketball and all that, which Mr. Hausnick will refresh us on. And just keep going on with all that. We got a lot of things coming up that we'll talk about. Career fairs and art shows, and we'll be setting up all coming soon.
All right, thank you much. Ms. Hoyt.
Last Wednesday, the 7th and 8th grade put on a spring cabaret, so that was fun to showcase the students' talents. And then on Friday, the 6th grade chorus went to Harrisburg to sing in the rotunda, and I was able to go down and see that, along with get a tour of the Capitol building. So the 6th grade choir did a phenomenal job, and Miss Burley did a great job leading the choir and the cabaret with that. And the tour was, I've never had a tour of the Capitol building, and the students really seemed to enjoy that as well. The data team at the middle school is really starting to dive into PBIS data using our system of Swiss, and Swiss, if you hear about it, is office discipline referrals. So we're really looking at the data February through April. Historically, the Swiss referrals and office discipline referrals significantly increase. So from the years of 2022 to 2025, in the month of February, we averaged 157 referrals. So the data team, we really looked at how can we increase positive behavior each month. So we see a decrease in those referrals. So the month of February, we offered to have a game show during lunches to increase positive behavior with prizes. I went around and tried to see what the big ticket item was in middle school. So we ended up with 107 referrals for the month of February. So we saw a significant decrease in referrals, which is great. So we're moving forward with March for another monthly incentive, and the students are excited about it. So hopefully we continue to see some decrease with that. So that's all I have.
Thank you much. Mr. Piper.
Yeah, finally wrapping up the technology budget. We were able to receive an acceptable E-rate bid for our high school network project next year. So that'll be worked into the budget. Reminder that E-rate will cover 80% of that cost. Continuing to work with kindergarten and first grade on our plan to transition from iPads to Chromebooks next year at those grade levels. Got everything in place from a technology standpoint as we transition to online testing next month for our state testing. And as of yesterday, we have gone live with Parent Square, which has replaced School Messenger for our mass notifications from the district. And come next school year, we will replace Remind for our parent-teacher communications with Parent Square as well.
Thanks. Thanks, sir. Mr. Hannon.
Yeah, during our last special education coordinators meeting, in the afternoon, we met with an attorney that specializes in special education. Her name was Brooke Says from Saxton Stump Lawyers and Consultants. And she spoke to us about the following topics. She did special education discipline rules, area for strategic improvement and discipline, use of the school police officer, best practices and considerations, restraint protections and obligations, recent restraint case law, Title IX in special education discipline, and Section 504 issues for IDA students. It was extremely informative, and the IU will be offering another legal updates for us in the afternoon for our March coordinators meeting as well. The other thing that's kind of happening right now is our Pennsylvania alternate system of assessment. This is the PASA, the assessment designed for students with significant cognitive disabilities who cannot meaningfully participate in the PSSAs. The purpose of the assessment is to provide an alternative measure of student achievement and inform IEPs, helping educators tailor instruction to meet the student's individual needs. And the opening for the testing started yesterday, and that will continue on until May 1st. Students are tested in English language arts,
and math and sciences for that, and it's all online testing now, so scores can come back quite quickly.
Great.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Mr. Farrar.
Just continuing, we're getting, of course, getting our third and fourth graders ready for the annual state assessments. Wouldn't lie to you, I would say we're a little nervous about how they're gonna do online. I don't know if that's the best thing for students, but that's what they say it is in Harrisburg. So we'll do whatever they tell us to do, and we're gonna prepare them to do their best. Our students always work hard and always do shine, but again, we're working hard with them, but I won't say anymore. Spring Fest, we have our PTOs at Lowestoft Valley and later are working together. They're looking ahead to our consolidation. And through some meetings with Mr. Blaze and I, they decided to combine and consolidate to work together towards one event in the eventual movement towards combining. And so we always had spring fling at Lighter, and they've had a spring festival, a couple different locations over the years for the Valley. We're gonna do a combined event, and we're gonna do it around the grounds there at McCall. So we think that the road that surrounds the backside will be a perfect location. Saturday, May 16th. It's both events were very similar in what they offered to our families and our kids. So we thought it was a perfect idea to come together, start to have the families, which they already mixed together with kids events and sports already and outside of school. But we thought this would be a great way to do it. And any kind of proceeds to come out of it, they've agreed that money is going to be put aside purely for building towards when they were a combined school family. So come on out that evening and as everyone tends to do and have a good time, and thank Mr. Myers, Mrs. Hoyt for letting us use that facility, but we thought it'd be the perfect location and a good time to work together. We've had Read Across America events, of course, with always comes around the time of early March with Dr. Seuss's birthday and so forth, but we had lots of things going on with guest readers from community leaders and school leaders, as well as students from the high school, and we even had a family book bingo leading up to that. So lots of good things going on. And of course, the big elephant in the room is the construction started in full force. The kids are excited. But if you walked around, it's funny, like Mr. Teener walked around, the construction workers have been great to work with so far, and we know we're in the early stages, but they are going full bore, and you wouldn't really notice walking around right now. Now we know that's going to change, but our ultimate goal is to make life on the daily basis as normal as possible for the kids. But they're excited and looking out and seeing things change, slowly but surely. So all good.
All right, thank you much. Mr. Myers.
Mrs. Hoyt and I, we had a grand time with the Read Across America, and it's always the fourth graders are always asking plenty of questions about what it's going to be like in fifth grade. So always look forward to that as we schedule here in May, an opportunity for the fourth graders to come over and check out McCall. Friday night, student council sponsored a neon dance at McCall, so that went over really well. And tomorrow is our science fair, and I'm happy to report we have 125 participants, a little over 70 projects. So students could be single or group. So that's at McCall tomorrow. I want to shout out to Mr. Jury and the science teachers for facilitating that every year. And then there's some community sponsorships for the winners. So thank you to them. March 20th, 21st, last meeting reported about the math counts team. So they're going to states on that weekend. Shout out to Mrs. Confer. She steps up all the time with that, and students Elliot Nybert, Bryn Lorson, Rachel Zhu, and Natalie Tucker going to that. And I want to another shout out with Mrs. Confer. She's taking students to the IU May 14th and April 16th with your approval this evening for some STEM challenges. So thank you, Mrs. Confer, for that. I think that's all I have right now.
Thanks, sir. Mrs. Wise.
Well, following up on the heels of their science fairs, in fact, the high school's Science National Honor Society will be heading over to McCall tomorrow to judge those entries into the science fair. We have, as Reese pointed out, the job fair coming up on the 24th of this month with over 42 businesses that have confirmed that they will be here, which for the first year doing this was incredible. Very happy about that. The art show is the 10th of April, if you want to add that to your calendars now. We've had a huge amount of success recently. Mr. Houseneck, I'm not going to steal all your thunder, but we had 4 wrestlers advance to states. 3 of them made it to the podium for medals.
You're stealing his thunder.
He's got four.
I'm not naming anybody.
All day.
Yeah. And then the boys basketball team had a great run through districts, made us all very proud. I have to give a shout out to the team for incredible sportsmanship. When we were down at Sunbury at Shikellamy for the stadium, the crowd in there was just thunderous. And the boys fought very hard and came so close to the district championship. And I took so much pride in being able to say they were our kids. When it came time for the medal ceremony, there was no ill will, there was no pouting. They were very gracious and supportive of the other team, which really was just incredible to watch. It's something when we watch some of the other schools that were there and how their students reacted, they couldn't even touch our kids. So I have to give them big kudos for that. Reese failed to mention academic decathlon is heading to states. They leave Thursday after school, compete Friday and Saturday, of which Reese is on the varsity division, part of the group that made it to state. So congratulations. Let's see. I think that pretty much takes care of everything for the high school for now. Thank you.
All right, great, thank you. Mr. Blaze.
Mr. Farrar stole my thunder, so. That was be the theme on the. No, so on February 24th, we had Zoo America at Hershey Park come up to the valley. They also went to later, but they put on an assembly they brought an eastern box turtle, an albino corn snake, and 2 twin ferrets, Mocha and Latte, which the kids loved. So the kids did a great job. They always do, but it's just awesome to see them interacting with people that get to come to our school, the questions they ask. Hats off to PTO for.
You didn't have the Falcon?
We did not have.
Ooh, we had a peregrine frog.
Oh.
Yeah, you were
Thunder. There goes your thunder.
No, God.
I guess she was tired to make the trip up.
We had a confetti dance as well, Mr. Farrar. So we had about 120 kids there. That was a good time as well. Kind of just going back to what Mr. Farrar said, we had the senior readers come up. We had about 18 out to the valley, and all of our community leaders and administration come up and read to our kiddos on Wednesday as well too. So we appreciate everybody taking time out of their schedules to come up and spend time at the valley. We had spring pictures. We have spring activity day coming up in April, and we're doing our firefly assessments right now to prep for PSSA. So we're moving.
Mr. Myers, one quick thing, will there be a way that we could see some of like pictures or something from the entries in the science fair?
Oh,
Curiosity.
I will, I'll take some tomorrow. I usually post them on Facebook.
On
but
Facebook, okay,
I'll
cool.
send them specifically.
Yeah, I'd like to see those.
Yep.
Sounds fun. All right, thank you. Mr. Twanita.
I don't have much to add, just bogged down in February and March. The 2 toughest months in the public schools. But I appreciate the reports from the admin team. I've been reflecting lately on our November Superintendent's Institute with the IU, and our presenter reminded us that back in the day, there was no competition. So these kind of reports didn't matter. You just sent your kid to school and that was it. Today, as you saw and pointed out in the budget, there is competition. And, without us talking about the thousands of good things that we do, that one thing can hurt. And that's what sends kids off to to the competition. So he told us the story. He was on a bank board. And if he went out and talked negative while on that board, and they were reminded of this constantly, it affected the bank's stock. As board members, administrators, employees of the district, if we go out there and talk, back in the day, it didn't matter. You sent your kid to school. Today, there are now choices, and we need to be mindful of that as we go through this budget season, as we continue to operate the district, and continue to remind ourselves that we're here for kids. And we need to peel back that number and make it welcoming for some to return. That is $1 million that goes out of here. Of local dollars that goes out unaccounted for. There's little to no accountability. Their passing rate on PSSA's 4%. 4%. So we just need to be mindful that the thousands of good things we have to put out in front of those screw ups we're going to have once in a while. We're humans, we're public schools, we're gonna have mess ups. But those things that you hear from our reports are balance that out. So I'll leave it at that. That helps me get through February and March. So.
All right, thank you everyone for the updates. Great stuff going on as usual. All right, move to the general agenda items. I think we can combine these tonight, 7.1 through 7.3. If you agree, I will take a motion to approve.
Motion to approve. Second.
Any questions? All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Personnel, again, I think we combine these 8.1 and 8.2. Again, if you agree, I'll take a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any questions on these? Right, all in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed?
I just want to add, I want to thank Morgan Solomon for her efforts here in building up the, her primary mission was the Geisinger Med Careers Program. So she's done a fantastic job with that. Fell in love with it so much that she's going to pursue her new love, and that's nursing. So she's going to be leaving the profession. Not on bad terms, just this is her new thing in life. So we wish her well, and good luck to her, and thanks.
All right, academics. This is my favorite one. I get to pronounce the foreign exchange students. All right, 9.1 approval of a request for Mr. Hoover for enrollment and waiver of
If you need help,
tuition
know in Italian.
for Riccardo Montini Bellosio. Foreign exchange student. I lived in Italy for a couple of years. Thank you.
Up here practicing.
I do. I thought when you guys were talking, I was like, Belos. Yeah, so Ricardo will be the exchange student from Italy for 2026, 2027 school year. Take a motion to approve that.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any questions? All right,
Will he come and so we can meet him,
that'd be fun.
a meeting?
Yeah, they have a requirement to
Do they?
present. Yeah.
I didn't know
can do
that.
that.
That's good.
All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Transportation 10.1, approval of the following addition to the bus driver and aide list for the 2025-2026 school year. Adding Sandra Temple, Noah Rickstraw, and Ann Anderson.
Motion to approve.
Second. Any questions? All right, all in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Very well, committee reports, Mr. Bice.
Thank you, sir. Policy Committee, Mrs. McCoy.
I have nothing for last night.
IU, Mrs. Mark.
Oh, sorry. And I forgot to bring in the flyer for it, but I just wanted to talk about the bridge program at the IU. And it's for students they have one at Lycoming College and one at Canton. I'll send out the picture for you, for an open house to go for older kids and bridging them into, and Tim's like watching me, I'm like bridging them into careers in the outside world. And it's a really neat program. They do have an open house if you ever want to go and look at it. It's for those kids as they get out of the I have lots of IU people here, you probably did much better than that. But as the kids get older and age out of traditional school, this is as the program says, bridge, but just also keep in mind of any students that, you have in your schools, I guess would be in the older, and you guys are good at identifying that. So we have two great components over here. But it's a really neat program if you ever want to go look at it, and you may see them out and about too, so. But I have my flyers, I forgot them, so sorry.
Thank you. LCTC, Mr. Gardner.
I have nothing to add tonight.
Memorial Gardens, Mr. Hausnick.
Okay, this year will be the 30th anniversary of the Flight 800 Memorial Race. The cross-country teams always sponsored it. They weren't going to do it this year, so Stephanie Bettison and Anthony Fry stepped up. And the Mentorsville Memorial Gardens Perpetual Care is going to sponsor the event. They're the co-chairs of it, and all the proceeds will go to the fund. And this is going to happen July 18th. Starting point is Pavilion 5. It's already been reserved. The borough already approved the permit that's needed for that race at Indian Park. They'll have the 5K race at Indian Park and then walk the 1.5K to the Memorial Gardens for a couple speakers. And that's going to happen July 18th. Registration's already online. And anybody that wants to donate snacks and food, get a hold of Stephanie or Anthony. That's it.
Thank you. Budget, Mrs. Meyer or Mr. Hausnick.
No.
Montoursville Foundation, Raise the Regions coming up. I believe it starts tomorrow night. If I'm correct. We're looking at dueling pianos in November of this year. It seems like a very interesting fundraiser. There'll be more to come on that. We'll have a table at the Spring Fling, and they're working on several grants at this time for some different aspects of financing some projects for the students. Mr. Key, anything to add to that?
No, I was a little late to that. I had a request that that LICO CTC use their 501c3 as a pass-through organization for any equipment grants they get from organizations. School districts, LICO CTC, they can't be a 501c3. Businesses like to donate to 501c3. So that was a discussion. I think they're willing, but not wanting to take on any additional costs that might have for the foundation. So I think that was about it.
Buildings and grounds, Mr. Albert.
I don't have a whole lot other than I think we're gonna be getting more informed as things get more busy over at Lighter, and everybody will be informed of it, from what I understand from our conversations we've had. And then I'm sorry I missed the work session about the baseball fields, but and possibly the soccer field now.
Actually, I'm looking at pictures of the soccer field.
What's that?
I'm trying to have other soccer field problems.
But anyway, so that, as long as that is still in motion and keep moving forward with what we're doing with that, I think it's pretty important. Just to keep pushing forward with it and seeing where we're coming out at. And I think, we discussed earlier with the situations we have with, the kids here, and it's hard to keep on track for everyone, and it's long overdue, and hopefully we're able to, with the closing of the valley and start to see things turn around, but it's a testimony to the district. I think it needs to be well known that in the last, 15 years, we've gone through three building projects between the high school and the middle school, and now over at Lighter, and balancing it out is not an easy thing, but I think you gotta there's not many districts around here can be in a position that we are right now. I don't think with the upgrades we've made and the things that have been done. I mean, they're all gonna have to do it at some point. It seems to me that we got ahead of it as good as we could, and I know that we're gonna be better for it.
Thank you. Extracurricular, Mr. Hausnick.
Okay.
Skip Mr. Madville.
Just skip Mr. Patty. Since our last meeting, it's like wrestling had a whole season. We'll start at sectionals. 8 of our 13 wrestlers advanced in sectionals, with Eisenhower, Babadas, Wetzel, and Harvey all taken first. Vanderbilt, Bauer, Kleinman, Fry thirds, and Zane Butler at fifth. In districts, Mentorsville finished third as a team. And Eisenhower, Wetzel, and Harvey had first. Kleinman had a third. Blake Fry had a fifth. Brody Bauer had a seventh, and Butler and Vanderbilt an eighth. In regionals, Wetzel and Harvey both again took first. Eisenhower a second. Kleinman a fourth. And Mentorsville finished second in the regional. Take a step back in districts, Gage Wenzel was also named most outstanding wrestler in the upper weights. At states, of course, it's been all over. Gage Wenzel's state champion. He's also the all-time wins leader in Mentorsville history with 188. The previous record was 178 by Gavin Hoffman, who went on to wrestle 4 years at Ohio State. At states, Gage took the state championship. Hayden Harvey took a fourth. Brandon Eisenhower took a fifth. And Mentorsville as a team finished eighth in the state. Only one other public school was ahead of us. The rest parochial or private schools. Which brings me to the next thing. On the internet. Support bill PA HB 41. It's the separation of public and private schools in the PIAA playoffs.
What's the number again, John?
PA HB 41.
So that's a question since you brought it up. I'm signing on to it as superintendent. My past as principal, it always irritated me when we get to a point and private schools and all that stuff. So I'm signing on to it as a superintendent. I think Dr. Johnson and Ms. Balliet are signing on to it. I don't know if you want a board resolution to send to the group that's working on this or not. I'll leave that up to the board.
But anyway, that's out there. And actually, if the PIAA would figure it out, they'd make even more money. But for those of you too young to remember, it used to be separated. It was a PCIAA and the PIAA. They got sued, combined them all together. Biggest reason the PIAA won't go back is they don't want to get sued again. So they're letting the state take over and try to run legislation. Just like they did in the COVID year, where it all came electronic ticketing. The PIAA wouldn't back off. So many of your seniors either don't have cell phones, don't know how to use them, couldn't go to athletic events, plays, what have you. So the state set in, put legislation. Now you still have electronic ticketing, but it's mandated that you have a cash box at the front door for tickets. So with the PIAA, they just raised all the prices up $4 to offset that extra person there. So, but anyway, get off that, get back to our kids. Girls basketball JVs finished up 12-5. The varsity girls 8-14, which was a vast improvement over last year. And they were playing real well at the end of the year. The Hack 2 All-Stars, Kaylee Shellman and Emily George were named second team. And Emily George was named for the all defensive team. In boys basketball, JV's 14-7. The varsity finished 18-8, was District 4 runners up, lost a heartbreaker to Lewisburg. In the state playoffs, we played Valley View, who was in the Final Four in Quad A last year, returned 2 starters and their 6th man from last year. They were pretty experienced, and we didn't have a great shooting night, so that hurt. The Hack 2 All-Stars, Shea Almer was the first team Division II All-Star. Eli Eck, Kingston Fisher were second teams, and Can Centrum was an honorable mention, and he was also on the all defensive team. The 8th grade team finished the regular season 16-2 and won the prestigious Williamsport basketball tournament. They went last weekend and participated in March Mania at the Miller Center and finished second, but they still got the ticket to compete in the Pennsylvania State Championships in State College, March 20th, 21st, 22nd, because they lost to Lancaster in the finals, and Lancaster had a traveling team. The thing for the state championships is the kids have to be all from the same school. Okay. The 7th grade team finished 17-1 regular season and won the Montoursville, the 37th annual Montoursville 7th grade tournament, which is also the 4th in a row for our 7th graders. They went to March Mania and went 4-0. They're going to the state championships the 20th, 21st, 22nd. This weekend is the state championship for all the girls in grades 5, 6, 7, and 8. Allie Eberhardt, even though swimming for Williamsport, she was the District 2/4 3A diving champ. And she's in state meet at Bucknell this weekend. And last but not least, as they did last year, PA football put out their all academic team for the state. Your gold division kids are 3.8 or higher GPA. Your silver 3.4 to 3.7. Your bronze 3.0 to 3.3. On the gold team is Carlo Tira, Chase Jones, Christian Banks, Kane Moore, Noah Rakestraw, Adam Shear, Gabe Vanderbilt, Hunter Schaefer, Hayden Harvey, Jordan Coick, Ethan Thomas, Jacob Schoen, Braden Burkett, Jay Hasneck, Elijah Eck, Caden Kleinman, and Branson Fogelman. On the silver team, 17 of them with a 3.8 or higher average. On the silver team, Kingston Fisher, Colton Conklin, Cole Snyder, Colby Almer, Zane Butler, Mason Lipinski, and Riggs McGraw. And on the bronze team, James Williams. So football's not all brawn. As with the fall sports and the winter sports, the kids at Montoursville have done fantastic. And if we have as good a spring sports as I think we'll have, it might be one of the greatest all-round sports years in the history of Montoursville.
Just to add to what he said in the wrestling, Hayden Harvey lost his first match. He actually got a bye, and then he lost 2-0, and he wrestled all the way back through for third. So, that's a pretty steep mountain to climb, but I'm sure he was wrestling with a little aggression.
Thank you, sir. Safety and security, we joined a pilot program, ELS 911, which is a mapping and emergency system at no cost. New officer Mitch McMunn is on board now. We approved him a couple months ago. He's a retired corporal with the state police, so welcome to Mitch. I saw him at the basketball game the other night, looking good, so keep him in line, Charlie. We got a good addition there. Wellness, Ms. McCoy,
Nothing to report.
back to you, Mr. President.
Thanks, sir. One more page, John, and we would have to extend the meeting now. That's great. What are these amazing accomplishments? See. So pretty much the entire football team is academically successful as well. Great stuff. All right, that'll take us to the final public comment portion of the evening.
Ron Snell, Lower Manor. First off, I have a couple questions, and one, will the budget presentation for tonight and every presentation up until the budget is passed be shared on the website, the school district website, and if so, where? And the other thing I have is, as you all know, the state has many unfunded mandates for school districts. One mandate that I can get behind, and I hope all of you get behind, is the mandate that they just passed that cursive writing needs to be taught in schools again. Now, I talked to Mr. Caramino and he said on a limited scale, we still do it. But one thing that I think should have been added into that is teachers and administration should need to go to them classes too, because from the administration and from teachers is a word. It is ridiculous. And that's why I think they need to go to the classes too.
Guilty. And we also discussed how many new teachers are gonna need to go to school to learn what cursive is. So they can teach them. Yeah.
But those teacher in service days, maybe that's something that could be taught.
All in cursive.
Yeah, right, do it all in person. No devices, everything on hand.
It's good. Yeah, we never completely abandoned that. We still have it, albeit limited. We still do some stuff with cursive in the elementary.
There were quite a few years that it got abandoned. It just came back and it was great.
Front of the class.
You're picking on my signature. I don't think you want me up there. I will not be class rank 1 in that class.
I'm back Callahan with the Earth Street. He brought up Catholic Lake and the private and the regular lake were once together. While bigger felt leaves the old Notre Dame cover. He coach gave it our court. And he needs to well done, bigger problems. And I'd like to have a pep bus. I can see the ready next year for a pep bus is during the only ran the pep buses when they were around. And so I'd like to see a pep bus. I know it I don't know what the cost or what the but I'd like to see a pep bus next year for all sports, football, basketball, wrestling, so on. That's it.
I know, else in the room. We'll go back to Zoom one more time. All right, seeing none, that'll conclude the final public comment portion of the evening and move us on to adjournment. I'll take a motion to adjourn.
Don't hate me. I just have one thing. when Sebastian, you mentioned that we're looking at replacing the iPads with Chromebooks for K through 1. My question is especially in the light of that, we keep trying to reduce screen time, and so I'm gonna look at you too, so you don't like scream. We're trying to reduce screen time for these kids, taking the cell phones out. Is it necessary? It's necessary.
There's some additional, apps that go right along with it. We have already reduced screen time compared to coming out of COVID, what it was, and you saw that increase in stuff, but I would say we already have, like, it's a supplement. It is by no means a major portion of our day.
Okay, that's why I just, mine is that, especially as a K through 1, like I understand getting up a little bit because there's STEM and stuff like that, that they're more interactive and it's obviously they're gonna have to use it, but kindergarten and first graders, I was just wondering if do they really need it or can we substitute?
It gives us some individualized attention, especially in the math and the reading. So you have your core instruction, you do your small group, but then there's also additional pieces that go right along with our core curriculum that is individualized in both subjects, especially reading and math, and even in handwriting. You're doing some handwriting actually online. You're doing handwriting online now. But there's apps where actually that they use and have used. The advantage of we're looking at going to the touchscreen Chromebook at that age level is it's like an iPad, but it's all, then everybody in the district's in the same format, and that's, the same.
No, yeah, and I get that, but
Their department, everything makes sense, but yeah, I can tell you, we greatly reduce that, because again, it goes back to the whole ebook controversy. We've always believed for years and years and years, as technology became bigger, that kids learn best by having a physical book in their hand.
Oh, absolutely. Well, and they retain more by writing it down. So to your point where they're using the apps, you retain more in a learning situation when you're actually writing on paper to that. So that's where I was my concern is, especially at that younger age, and especially when we're seeing just scores, if you look from 2012 to now, kids, scores plummeting in reading, math, science, all of that. And so mine is, and it's not even from a fiscal standpoint, I mean, maybe a little bit, but to my point is, and obviously you'll know where I stand a little bit on this, is that if we can reduce that for that K through 1, that's why I just didn't know how much instruction was it necessary, and can it be replicated in a form without it? So.
I don't know how the individualized, because it's so adaptive and reactive, there'd be no way to do that.
So when you say the individualized ones, is that more for like kids that would fall under like Tim?
To every student.
Really?
Because the students who need acceleration, it provides that opportunity. So, and the teachers do it in adapting their instruction, but this gives that purely individualized piece for the students who need either remediation or acceleration. But again, it's a small piece. It's not a humongous piece of what we do.
They're not taking them home anymore.
No.
They stay. So
Yeah, well,
they
there's no
can't,
reason kindergartens and first graders need
They
to share a
can't,
Chromebook to. Quite frankly, most of elementary school. You can look at all the studies from 2012 and beyond when the smartphone came out, and you can see a vast decrease because there's no non-stimulation time, right? Then they're not going out outside as much as we all did when we were younger. I mean, shame on us, our generation invented it, and our kids and
yeah, and
kids
we,
are suffering because.
and we didn't in schools
Mental health.
teach and put the guide rails in place for that. The next wave is coming with AI. We better not ignore this with
Hence
kids
this-
like we did with the
Another reason I
social media
don't,
and phones.
I'll be honest
and-
with you, another reason that when I'm looking at kindergarten and first grade, that I'm very, just the screens, and it's to your point is that there's the AI component, but there's a lot, and the longer we can delay them being reliant upon a screen to learn, the more that they will have more independence. I mean, it's a win-win all the way around. you know, and trust me, as someone who uses technology all day long and is dependent on it, and my eyes hurt because of it most of the time, so, yeah, Sebastian.
I hear you.
Blue glasses, like, let me tell you,
Well,
those smaller kids, as much as we can get them away from it, you know.
I don't disagree. The difficult part we come into, how is the state assessing us now?
So, yeah, I
So we
worked
gotta
on this
slowly
year
prep them
and
to
was,
get ready
well,
for it.
and it's crazy because it's the state that wants to ban cell phones, which obviously I'm all for. And then is also now going to online, and the kids are already stressed out about it, like the little elementary, because they're just like, this is. And I'm like,
So I think just from a technology standpoint, some important things to consider, and when you're comparing cell phones to school devices. You have what we, especially at the middle school and high school with moving cell phones, you're removing social media. You're
Right.
removing the drama, the bullying, things like that. Those are largely unrestricted devices with access to who knows what online. Compared to hopefully how we're using our devices in school, which is a tool. It's not, you're not sitting there on the device all day long, every day, but it does help for certain things. We have online curriculum, like you said, just able to be individualized, students working at their own pace. We have students that completely blow through all of the material we have in one app to where they need to go to a whole other app just because they're so far ahead and they need more resources to help them get further. We are working on some of the tools that we have are our safety alerts, our filters. They're slowly starting to incorporate some additional monitors for screen time, so we can start to keep a closer eye on that as we move forward and those tools become better. But I agree with you that it's a lot, especially at the younger.
yeah, well, and also it's just like, as you're clicking through, like the kids are learning through clicks. Like your mind's on there. Like, they're learning through clicks too, so you're learning through an app where it's not that creative thinking.
One of the apps that we actually are working on right now, to Ron's point again, in figuring out for those Chromebooks is actually a cursive writing app. And where they actually have letters on the screen and they can use a pen and actually go through. And so it's still interactive and that's educational.
We're not abandoning.
Somebody wanna call us? Mr. Snell?
And this is kind of a question for Sebastian. Isn't there a way to block AI on school devices? Because I think I've seen other school districts that are doing.
Yeah.
And
we restrict it to only certain ones that we vetted.
I mean, I'm talking about for
Yes,
everyone.
yes, you can, yes.
We've not done that yet.
Maybe that's the next thing, since you got the cell phones out, maybe that's the next thing.
And I'm coming here late in the game too, but like, do teachers have a way of monitoring what screen? Okay.
Yes. Yeah, so we have a classroom management product that allows them to see their screens, and that's actually another benefit for the Chromebooks is that we have that capability, whereas we didn't with iPads.
All right, that was it. Sorry, I didn't mean to get it longer than it was, but I had to get it out there as we were
Great.
there.
We get to talk education.
That's very true.
So I like
We're
to.
gonna switch gears to sports.
That's
What
going.
we left to talk about. Yeah, true. More for Mr. T is that I know we're getting prices for the baseball, softball fields. Could we somehow get something together as to what our maintenance costs are for those?
On those, yeah.
Those fields to show an offset?
You don't wanna see the pictures of that right now, but just accents.
Had to do with. Had to do with-
So.
I know. That's just from the soccer team. The middle school.
Yeah, cause that would be a part of,
Where'd they come from?
if you spend money on
The field.
turf, what you're gonna save. Yes.
It's never been dug up.
Just a ballpark.
No, there's scattered across the soccer fields that.
Would actually be
Well, that came from
double
whoever spread them over.
because the labor
It was in the middle.
that you use, work on the fields could be used elsewhere.
It has to be.
I know, I just, this one, I just get.
Could eliminate one of these issues.
Yeah, in the spring, you basically lose your person, cause he's out there on a mower.
Yeah, so
multiple days a week.
They can be in there,
Yeah.
getting the work done that has to be done.
Rocks, piece of. Across the sock goes after they were top dresses. This is second.
Catch up on apps, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm in your corner, Joe.
Hey, can we go back to the motion to adjourn? Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All right. All in favor of adjournment, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, all opposed?
Nay.
All right.